She thought I'd never find her second life. But when I knocked on that door, her entire world collapsed.
Don't miss the next twist. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell for more interesting stories like this.
My name is Daniel. I'm 34. Up until 6 months ago, I thought I was living a quiet, successful, perfectly average life. I had a stable job in software engineering, a modest house in the suburbs, a beautiful wife, Claire, and a long-term plan to retire early, travel, maybe start a family in a couple of years. We had been married for 7 years. Together for 9. Claire was smart, organized, always well-dressed. She managed our budget like a CFO, kept our house spotless, and baked on Sundays. I used to tell my friends I'd hit the jackpot. She wasn't overly emotional, but I liked that. I thought she was calm, measured, a rock. Now I wonder how I missed everything for so long. It started, like most disasters, with something small. One evening, Claire forgot her phone at home. She almost never did that. She texted me from her work phone asking me to bring it to her yoga class. It was a Tuesday. She always went to a 7 p.m. yoga session on Tuesdays. Always. Same instructor, same studio, same leggings, even. I drove over, parked, and walked toward the door of the building. That's when I noticed something. There was no class. The studio was dark. The door was locked. A paper sign taped to the window read, "Closed for renovations, reopening next month." Confused, I texted her, "Hey, I'm outside the studio. It's closed?" No reply. 2 minutes later, she called me. "Oh yeah, sorry. I meant to tell you, class moved to a different location temporarily. I'm already inside. Just leave my phone in the mailbox outside, I'll grab it after." Her voice was light. Casual. Too casual. I felt a weird knot form in my stomach. "What's the address?" I asked. She hesitated. "Don't worry about it, babe. It's a little confusing to find." I felt my heart rate spike. That wasn't Claire. Claire was meticulous. She would have dropped a pinned location. She would have written it on the fridge calendar. Something was off. That night, after she fell asleep, I checked her phone. I hated doing it. I told myself it was just to ease my mind. But her messages were clean. Nothing suspicious. Then I checked her Notes app. Inside, I found a folder locked with Face ID, titled Groceries. I waited 3 nights. Waited until she was asleep with her face turned just the right way. Unlocked it. Inside were dozens of entries, labeled with random dates. But they weren't grocery lists. They were schedules. Locations. Names. Dinner reservations. Hotel room numbers. Flight confirmations. One note said simply, 8 p.m., pick up from his place, don't forget wig. I felt physically ill. Over the next 2 weeks, I became someone I didn't recognize. I tracked her locations through our shared phone plan. I copied every note. Every calendar event. I dug through bank statements. And what I found was horrifying. Claire had an entire second life. Every other weekend she traveled to see her sister. In reality, she flew to another city, same one every time, and stayed in a downtown apartment. A lease she had signed in her maiden name, paid for from an account I never knew existed. That account had over $140,000 in it. Money siphoned from our joint investments over the course of 4 years. She had a second phone. A second wardrobe. Even a second ID, with dyed hair and glasses. But the worst part? She wasn't just cheating. She had another man. A long-term partner. She had built an entire relationship, with its own history, photos, vacations. There were even messages from his parents. Birthday wishes. A thank you card from his sister. In their world, Claire was Anna. And Anna had been with Jeremy for nearly 6 years. I read a message she sent him. "Sometimes I forget which life is real. With you, I feel free. With him, I feel safe." Maybe one day I'll have the courage to choose. I broke. For 3 days I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I sat in our guest room with the lights off, going through every message, every photo, every itinerary. It wasn't just betrayal. It was erasure. I wasn't even the main character in my own life. Just a footnote in hers. I considered confronting her immediately. Yelling. Screaming. Throwing her bags into the street. But something stopped me. Pride? Strategy? I decided if she wanted to live a double life, I'd let her, just long enough for me to burn it down. I started documenting everything. I printed photos. Backed up cloud data. Pulled copies of every financial record she thought I couldn't see. I hired a private investigator. Within 2 weeks, I had a timeline going back years. She met Jeremy at a tech conference. Kept in touch. Visited him. For work. Eventually, she began dividing her time. 1 month in our life. 1 month in his. He thought she was a freelance writer who traveled for inspiration. She told him she had no family ties. No husband. No permanent home. They were even engaged. I found the ring. Hidden in her gym bag. I set a trap. One weekend, when she was supposed to be with her sister, I booked a flight to the same city. Rented a car. Parked near the apartment she'd been leasing. Waited. She arrived just after 6 p.m. Hair dyed. Glasses on. Smiling. Jeremy met her at the door. Kissed her. They walked in hand. I took photos. And then I waited until midnight. I knocked. Claire opened the door, in sweatpants, barefoot. Her face drained of color when she saw me. Jeremy walked into view behind her, confused. "Who's this?" I looked her dead in the eyes. "Your husband." Jeremy's face twisted in horror. Claire tried to speak, but I turned and walked away. The fallout was nuclear. Claire flew home 2 days later. Begged. Sobbed. Said it got out of control. Said she never meant to hurt anyone. She said she thought she could manage both lives, and that she didn't want to choose, because choosing meant losing something forever. She said I was her foundation. I told her foundations don't survive bombs. We divorced. It was long. Expensive. But thanks to the documentation I gathered, she lost nearly everything. Jeremy? He disappeared from her life the moment she confessed. Apparently, Anna, lying about having a husband and stealing money wasn't part of his fantasy. It's been 9 months. I'm still healing. Still struggling. I have trust issues. I question everything. But I'm free. And sometimes, freedom is more valuable than love.